Hey everyone, welcome back to Black on the Platform Live, where we spotlight Black entrepreneurs, authors, and leaders who are moving the culture forward and making wellness, wealth, and wisdom more accessible to our communities. I'm your host, Jen S., founder of Black on the Platform, your go to directory and community for Black owned businesses. If it's your first time joining us, please drop your name in the chat and let us know where you're tapping in from. And to our returning viewers, welcome back. We see you, we appreciate you, and we're so glad that you're part of this movement. Hey, Andrea, I see you in the chat. Welcome. Well, before we get started, I do want to share a quick update. Many of you have seen that Dr. Boyce was originally scheduled to join us today, but due to a scheduling conflict, we'll be rescheduling his appearance. So don't worry, you'll still get that wonderful conversation. And I'm definitely looking forward to bringing him to the platform. But as things would have it, sometimes the universe makes space for exactly the conversation we need. And I am truly happy about tonight's guest, not only because it's Women's History Month, but because the work she does centers on something we all need more of: wellness, self awareness, and healing. Jasmine Lang is the creator and founder of LYL Body Care, a yoga practitioner, aromatherapist, and wellness advocate whose mission is to help people reconnect with themselves through mindful movement, nature, and ancestral practices. Her work is about slowing down, finding balance, and nourishing the spirit, something that is so important in the world we live in today. So I would love for my viewing audience to welcome Jasmine in the chat. Welcome, Jasmine, to Black on the Platform. We're so glad to have you here today. Please say hello to our viewing. Thank you for being here, Jasmine. Welcome to the platform. So, you describe yourself as a yoga practitioner, aromatherapist, and wellness advocate. For those meeting you for the very first time, tell us a little bit about who you are and what inspired this path.
Yeah, so I'm a Los Angeles native. I grew up in the inner city, and with that comes a lot of hustle and bustle. So I grew up with the drive and all the motivation that we get from the city, but deeply needing something more to ground me. And so that's where I found practices that help me just nurture parts of myself that I wasn't aware of needed nurturing.
How did you become aware? When it's an unawareness, then it takes
Yes.
heightened awareness to pay attention to something you missed.
Honestly, no, I get that. Moving away from the city. So when I was 23 or 24, I moved to Humboldt. Like I just had this urge to move to Humboldt. It's like where all the redwood trees are at the top of California. Not a lot of black people. I missed my people, but I loved connecting with nature there. And when I was there, I just had, for the first time in my life, quiet moments where I was able to hear my actual thoughts, my own desires, what it is that I wanted from this life, and not just what we're all fed. So I was actually able to take the time and actually become aware of what I really needed out of, my own journey. And humbled nature, quiet time is what brought me to that.
So I have to confess that when I went into quiet nature, I took a trip to upstate New York I was part of a Lily Sarah Grace fund, and
Mhm.
it was very unsettling for me. Like, being in that
Really?
peaceful place made it hard for me to like settle down. Like, it was almost too peaceful and too quiet. I didn't hear cars driving by. I didn't hear
Yeah.
sounds. You didn't have that kind of like, I
Mm,
don't know.
Girl, I had the opposite. I said, "Don't take me back to the ghetto, please." But I feel like everybody's personalities are very different. We all are different people. And I think I've always been a very sensitive child. So I was in the city growing up, very sensitive to all the energies around me, sensitive to the loud sounds of the car, sensitive to the people, sensitive to, all the things that are happening in the world. And so I kind of would internalize that a lot, you know? Some of us can, you know, just shake that stuff off. Like I'm not that type of person. I'm the type of person like I my heart is like available to all of it, you know, the good and the bad. And so when I was in this place, I was actually able to just feel my own peace for the first time, you know? And I think a lot of us, we're so used to all the roles that we have, we don't actually even get to feel that for ourselves. And the discomfort is normal. Like even teaching yoga, I can look around the class and see the discomfort. And it's something that we have to give ourselves grace for.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. I'm guilty of liking a little bit of noise. I think for me, when I was little,
Yes.
yeah, my mom would vacuum around me and I would sleep right through it. I was a heavy
Uh-huh.
sleeper, so I could sleep through
Mhm.
sounds, and sometimes, like, if I need noise, it helps me sleep. So I think it's
Yeah,
different strokes for different folks type of thing,
absolutely.
but I
Yep,
love
think
how
about babies.
yeah.
You know, some babies, when they need a nap, like the noise doesn't bother them. And then some babies need absolute silence. Some babies need a pat on the butt, like whatever is soothing to you, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. I am curious. I want to check in with the viewing audience about the audio because sometimes if I don't mute myself when I have guests, especially if they're not using like a headphone, it reverberates and they can hear themselves echo. So, if you have heard any echoing, please let me know in the chat so that I can continue to mute myself when Jasmine is speaking. And thank you to all of the support from the sisterhood. I see you, and I see Jennifer Rocket, who brought Jasmine and I together. And we appreciate you, Jen, for being here and for making the connection. It's all about building community and a growth movement. So, yay. Um, so, okay, let's continue.
Jay.
So, yes, yes, shout out to Jen. Um, so, you combine yoga with aromatherapy, which is an absolutely
Mhm.
beautiful fusion. What does aromatherapy add to the yoga experience?
Yeah, so I think sensory is really important, you know, and I think the aromatherapy adds the sensory aspect to it. So not only are we utilizing the embodiment of the practice of yoga, we're actually utilizing the benefits of nature too, because all of the aromatherapy comes from nature and each plant has a different benefit. Like, for example, lavender helps you to calm down. So when you're in a yoga class and you're able to get that sensory aspect, it really is very soothing. And especially for someone who may have some trouble settling into quiet, a scent can change that, like this, you know? So,
Yeah, that
and
was my next question. Like, how does the scent, the breath, and the movement work together to support healing? That I agree because I have a strong olfactory bulb in my head.
Yes, exactly. So I think scent is connected to memory. And I think when we are in a state of relaxation and calm, depending on what we're smelling, you remember that's going to stay with you and it's going to carry on with you. So even let's just say you're a person who doesn't enjoy yoga, but when you were in the yoga class, you remembered what that lavender smelled like and you remember the relaxing feeling you had. So now those two are associated in your brain forever, you know? So I think they really work well together, playing hand in hand together, and very complementary to the work that I was doing before I actually started teaching yoga. I was just making my own natural body care products as a wellness practice overall.
Is that something you still do? Do you have products for aromatherapy?
Yes. Hmm.
Tell us more. Tell us
Yeah.
more.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so all my products are all natural handmade body care products that you can use on your body, made with essential oils, and they're all aromatherapy based. So they're all natural ingredients, and each product has like a different intention. For example, I have a Zen body butter, which is one of the most popular ones, made with lavender. And the name of it is the energy that I want you to feel while using it. I have one named Bliss for someone who needs more uplifted. It's an invigorating scent with grapefruit. And I have another one named Love, and that's vanilla because the scent is warm, it's comforting. So these scents really, really play a huge role in just the feelings that we feel day to day.
So I have to share. I love this. I'm like, I get excited because I actually have a vision of my role as the concierge of connection to bring
Mhm.
together people. But I have this dream that like one day I could become like what a wedding planner does, where you need this, that, and the other, and I put the package together and then provide you that package, and all the people who are involved get paid through the package. And so I'm picturing you with another Jasmine, naturally boundless, and Brittany in
Mhm.
the aura, who both have the similar like calling to bring sense and to bring um natural herbal remedies and all that together. And I could see
Mhm.
you guys creating this like beautiful package for Mother's Day with all these different with candles and butters and teas. And so I have visions in my mind of
I love that. Yes, I look forward to meeting them so we can create that.
absolutely, absolutely. So
Mhm.
I'm also one to know like that our brain has nerves, and inside our nerves
Yes.
one of the biggest or the most like the number one is the olfactory for smell,
Mhm.
and then the second one are the
Mhm.
three for eyes, like different ones for your eyes moving, for your
Mhm.
eyes seeing. And so I think that we don't realize how important our sensory perceptions are to our overall well-being, what we see,
Absolutely.
yeah, and what we smell. And so I feel like
Yeah.
I can imagine the butters feeling and the
Mhm.
smell and how much
Mhm.
that must feel good. What's your favorite scent of the ones you offer?
Well, because I create and make them all, they are made with so much love. Every one of them. I wouldn't even put it out there if it wasn't my favorite. I'm very, very, very selective with the scents that I use, the ingredients that I use. And I'm also very sensitive to smell. I know you see this, very African rooted nose, okay? The African rooted nose does not play when it comes to smell.
I mean,
So I'm very, very sensitive to it.
I am like I have a smell thing to a fault where like people are like they can't smell
Oh,
what I can smell. And my dad says I have a canine sense of smell. My
yes.
husband, my kids, they're all just like you and your smell. So I think there's something behind it. I really do. Like
You know what I actually researched too one day? Because I was losing my mind. I lived in an apartment building, and when I would be on my cycle, I would be walking down the hallway and I could smell everything people made for dinner. And I would be like wanting to vomit. I'm like, what? This is overwhelming. And so I did some research, and women, when we are on our cycles specifically, we have like, there's our senses are heightened and our smell is heightened during that time. Isn't that crazy?
that says a lot. That tells me we're onto something. Really. I
We
almost
are, because it's like our sixth sense.
Absolutely. I almost moved out of an apartment building because I couldn't stand the smell when I moved into it, and I couldn't find where the smell was. That was the hardest part. It was like 2
Mhm.
months. I was having extreme headaches. I felt so like I didn't think I could stay there, and I really was happy because it was in Brentwood. It was upstairs, downstairs. It was really cute, lots of lighting, and I
Ooh.
really loved it. But I was like, I can't stay here if we can't get to the bottom of this. So I would smell everything, the blinds, the flooring, the curtain, like the and so one day I decided I'm just
Mhm.
gonna take the blinds off because I tried vinegar treatments, I did all this stuff. I got a whole
Yeah.
set of curtains. I was about to have them installed, and so I'm over here washing the windows and washing the trimming and everything, and all of a sudden I smelled, and it was the screens on the windows. So I realized I'm getting curtains and that's not the problem. The problem is the screens. So I ended up taking every screen off of every window to solve the problem, which created a whole nother problem of being too hot in the but I'm just saying
Yes.
that's how like it's not just like in my mind. It was literally causing me distress. So
Yes, it's an experience. They even say like there's certain animals, like they mate based on smell, like they find their mates based on smell. Even they say like for women, the pheromones that are released from like that's how we
yes.
attract mates. And
Yes.
even I know also another fact is like the way men smell to us also decide is a deciding factor on whether or not we make good mates. So this is a real
No,
thing.
it's real. It is so real. I'm so happy to have you confirm it for me, Jasmine, because Even with like my husband, his smell was what like, oh, just I just like, even thinking about it right now, I'm just
Said,
that's that
that's the
pheromone.
one right there.
Exactly, that's the one. How'd you know? Exactly. So there must be something deeply rooted in our ancestral knowledge too about the way that we
Mhm.
interact with scents and smells in our sensory system and nature and all of that. And you mentioned that you wanted to create a wellness center that yokes people through ancestral practices. Can you explain what this vision looks like for you?
Yeah, so this vision definitely looks like a community wellness center offering all the different practices that I feel like have really nourished me. And those are yoga practices, those are learning how to make your own natural body care products because our skin is our biggest organ and what we put on our skin matters. That could be different classes and workshops with learning how to eat better, juicing, like all the things that really make our overall well being, journaling, praying, like all the different offerings that there's so many people in the community that already offer. Us having a hub to be able to offer it to the people, to be able to provide these workshops and classes. I also teach yoga to children. So I want to have a space where kids can learn these things that they're not learning in school and something that they can carry on with them throughout life. So you don't have to be 23 and move to the forest to
I
figure it
love
out.
it. I love it. One of our viewers, Andrea, says, I have a set of pheromone with essential oils in tiny bottles with cute names. That is adorable.
Oh, that is cute.
so, so how do you get pheromones into bottles? Aren't pheromones what we
I
emit?
haven't
I'm
experienced that yet.
I'm curious, Andrea. Say more.
Interesting, please.
Right? So I love this idea of a wellness center, and I'm definitely interested in joining and doing some of your workshops when you create that space. Can you tell us more
Mhm.
about the ancestral practices? How do ancestral practices help people reconnect with their true nature?
Yeah, so I think before I think about who we were as people before we were westernized, colonized, I think about the things that we did in community that brought us closer together and the things in community that we did that kept us well. And I think it's really important to me to tap into those roots and to be able to share them with other people because a lot of times when I was younger we didn't grow up celebrating like our blackness fully. We celebrated our black americanness, but I feel like when it came to our african roots, if I did feel a disconnection growing up, so it was important to me to learn what it is that we did as african people before we were brought here. To be honest, before all the trauma happened, who were we?
Yeah,
And
and
some
there
of those.
is oh, sorry, go ahead. My
Okay,
bad.
sorry. No. I'll remember my thought. Go ahead.
No, continue. I will remember mine too. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, and so some of those practices look like the making of the shea butter. Like the shea nut comes from Ghana, Africa. That's where we get. That's like that nut makes so many people's what am I missing the word cosmetology. They make so many cosmetology products with this shea butter, and it's from Ghana, Africa. That goes to show you right there, like a lot of our practices that we use day to day are rooted in our African ancestry.
That's beautiful. And two things I was going to say. One is that there is evidence that there were Black people here in the Americas prior to slavery. And sometimes we miss that and we think that we all came through the transatlantic slave trade, but there are communities too that were here as well. That was one thing because I always think about our miseducation when it comes to our history. And then the other
Yes.
thing is they often say you can take the hood, you can take the homeboy out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the homeboy. And I feel like that applies to our African roots. You can take us out of
Mhm.
Africa, but you can't take the Africa out of us. And so that came to mind
Absolutely.
when you were sharing.
Yes, I've been seeing a lot of people go back and forth online about that information. And I do agree, like, as Black people, we are the start of humanity. So we were probably everywhere. But I do want to acknowledge my own personal African to the bone. I did my ancestry.
I did too. Where are you from?
I'm from so many places, but mainly Nigeria, West Africa, a little bit of sub-Saharan. Um, so it's quite a few different places.
I'm also from Nigeria, according to ancestry.com, and West
Mhm.
Africa, and I'm from the Bantu tribe,
Yes, I got
Bantu.
some of that too. Hmm. Hmm.
It's nice
And
to
one time I
know.
actually, yeah, I went to Morocco, and so that's North Africa. But there was a lot of people there telling me like, "You Berber sister," and I'm like, I gotta go home and figure out who are these Berber sisters because everybody keeps telling me I'm from Berber sister. Okay.
So they recognized your features and your mannerisms or something that
Mhm.
favored that area. That's
Yeah,
fascinating.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Well, I want our viewing audience to know more about the products and services you offer. So you know now that Jasmine offers these lovely scents that you can purchase. But in addition to that, she also offers private classes, group sessions, and even, like she said, yoga for children and schools. So, Jasmine, tell us, why is it important to introduce wellness practices early in life, and what kind of transformations do you see in people after they've attended your classes?
Yes. So I think about right now where we are, like as a whole, and if we look at the state of the world and everything going on, I think a lot of people could have utilized what wellness practices when they were children. And I think now we're just getting to the point where it's becoming more popular and people are speaking about it. People are honoring how important it is, but they're honoring it from an adult, So I think it's very important to start at the root of it. And the root of it is children, like getting to teach them early what it looks like to take care of yourself, what it looks like to honor yourself, what it looks like to, treat yourself well so that when you go into the world, you're able to treat other people well. You're able to connect better. And I think it just builds healthier communities when we take care of ourselves. And so I've had people leave my classes and I've had people come consistently to the classes and I noticed that people are showing up in a way that they need for themselves. And that's really what it's all about. Like bringing you home into your own body. I'm not here to tell you what you should be doing or what you need to do. I want it to be an intuitive way for you to connect with yourself. And I think that sometimes in those spaces, what we are not allowing ourselves to heal and feel is that intuition. It's like the outside noise can sometimes come into those spaces, but I want people to be able to feel in those spaces their inner voice.
That's beautiful. I love that. And for those who are interested in taking your classes, are they in person? Are they remote? I'm assuming you're in a location. Can you tell her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I teach every Monday in Mid City at 7 p.m. a yoga and aromatherapy class. I sell my products online at lylbodycare.com. And I sometimes pop up at the Playa Vista Market and sell my aromatherapy products. And so that's been happening once a month, but I usually in the summertime am there every Saturday.
Beautiful. But after speaking to you, I found out that you don't chase events or clients. You believe in operating in ease and flow. And that's really different from what many entrepreneurs are taught in their approach. Can you talk about how you built your business around alignment rather than pressure?
Yeah. So, like I said, making space for that inner voice and really honoring what it is that I need for myself and what feels good to me, what cadence feels good to me, what exposure feels good to me, accessibility. Like, if you're, to me, I'm the type of person, if I'm accessible to everybody and anybody, everybody's energy, that feels very draining to my spirit. So I have to be very, very, very intentional with how I spend my time, where I show up, what I'm taking in. And part of that was really honoring my boundaries and really like having an honest conversation with myself and say, I'm a hustler, yes, I'm motivated, yes, but it looks differently. I don't need to be in everybody's face at everybody's event. Like that may work for some people. It just doesn't work for me. I just need to spend more of my time listening to my heart space, listening to what I want to create next, listening to what God is speaking to me. Like that's important to me. That connection is going to override anything. And I feel like when I'm constantly chasing, I'm not allowing myself to receive. And when I'm not allowing myself to receive, I'm not in flow. So I think it's very important that we find business narrative that fits our own personalities instead of the blueprint that's sold to us, because we're not all the same people.
You are speaking words of wisdom, and I know, so I have a sister in the viewing audience, Mia James, and she also has been a yoga practitioner, and she's the one who's always teaching me about boundaries for my what's right for me and being able to say no to people and being able to say no to myself and having boundaries for myself. So I had heard about boundaries since I was 19. I actually joined group I did. I joined a group therapy, and they were all middle-aged women. I was 19 and they were in their 40s, and they were like very impressed with me, very much as I am with you. I mean, you're not
Oh.
19, but you're definitely younger, and you have such wisdom at such a young age to me, and I think it's beautiful to see your self-awareness and your self-care, and I feel like that ripple effect does, I'm sure, influences your clients, your friends, and your family, and I think it's beautiful. But yeah, I did learn about boundaries for myself this year. Late in life, but I'm
Mhm.
getting it. And I think it's beautiful that you're learning to trust your flow in your life. And when we started today, I said, I need some of the slowing down that you recommend, because I
Mhm.
move. I'm guilty of doing double zooming on one computer. I tried
Yeah.
triple zooming, and I'm like, I only have two ears and I can only listen to so much. But like, I'll literally have on this Zoom and this, I'll have on like a class and a podcast or a book club,
Yeah.
and I'm in a space where I need to start monofocusing and not splitting myself so thinly. Yes, Omari,
Mhm.
stillness and balance. That's what I need. Yeah. And sometimes that stillness is unfamiliar to me. Like when I was in upstate New York and I was just like, this is eerie. It's like too quiet almost. So, um,
Yeah, I think on the other side of that too, that discomfort, you will discover something so beautiful if you just move. That's why yoga, I think, is so important, because we're using these poses that may feel like discomfort, right? But on the other side of that is strength. On the other side of that is courage. On the other side of that is bravery. So I think with the same thing, the discomfort that we feel with stillness, if you sit through that discomfort, allow yourself to feel what's on the other side of that. Like, what is it that my body's trying to tell me through this discomfort?
I love that. And I actually have started this practice of checking in with my body. There is another
Mhm.
type of work. It's not yoga, it's called parts work. And
Okay.
I started joining one of my friends, Deborah. And when you join the culture club on school, you'll see her posts. She sometimes shares her insights, and she talks about being in like that stillness and listening and seeing what comes up for you. And so I've started working on
Mhm.
it. I'm not running from it anymore. I'm actually being very proactive in,
Yes.
yes. And I think she actually has a session this Saturday coming up if it's something you're interested in. So I'll share that. But outside of teaching, you mentioned loving nature, writing, and activities that nourish the spirit. What practices personally keep you grounded?
Yes, I would say I'm pretty simple. Like nature, I take walks, I hike, I write in my journal. Making my own food is like a wellness practice for me, like nourishing my own body, like anything that involves like a devotion and a nurturing. Like I think as women, we nurture everything and everyone, well, depending on our personalities. But that's like a characteristic of women sometimes. And I think that for me, it's all about like nurturing and honoring myself. And those practices do change daily. I'm not like a consistent, like I have to do this every day, but I
You're in
do
your
have like a
flow.
list of, yes, like I'm like, what am I feeling today? Okay, I need to take a walk. Okay, oh, I need to go on a hike. Oh, I need to be on some water. When I got off today, I had a little bit of extra time. I literally walked on the beach for 5 minutes. All I needed was 5 minutes just to see the water, say my prayers, got up out of there. Like it's just like little moments
Beautiful.
like that that just carry me throughout my day and remind me that like no matter what's going on in the world, this is the most important part.
So I know life has its ups and downs, and things can
Mhm.
impact us. I mean, it could be anything that causes us to feel a little bit overwhelming or overwhelmed or stressed out. What do you do
Mhm.
to reset when life gets overwhelmed? Do you go to the beach? Like what do you do when things get a little bit hectic?
Yeah, so I really over the last I would say year I've been very very intentional with not allowing myself to I can feel it before it's coming. And so I try to remind myself, Jasmine, you haven't been walking. You've been focused, you've been worried, you've been working a lot. You need to take that time to slow down. So slowing down is what really brings me back. And I think that definitely I've had moments in my life where everything felt like it was in shambles. And from
You're
there, I
human.
just go back. Yes, I just go back to the things that I know bring me back to life. And that looks like, I know it sounds very simple, but it's like journaling, meditating, yoga, movement, stretching, sunlight, water, all the things that keep us literally alive is what nourishes me.
That's beautiful. So, as we think about your LYL body care, and we are interested, of course, in taking some of your courses and buying some of your products, what is your long term or big vision for LYL body care?
I used to be very adamant, like, because I've been in business for 10 years. And when I first started, I was very adamant about like needing it to look this way. And that was like a wellness center. And even though I still have dreams of having a wellness center, I've learned that the flow and ease is what's really sustained me through business. And it looks different like every year my focus was workshops, and those were great and they were successful. And then now this year I've been focused on teaching more kids, like whatever whichever is in the alignment of the things I'm already doing. That's where my heart is, and it's going to keep carrying me through. Like it doesn't have to look a certain way as long as I'm committed and consistent.
I am so excited to bring you into our growth community because you are just a well needed addition. And I often talk about how the focus is not just one industry. We have a lot of financial uh, experience in the group. We have a lot of, different players, different industries, and wellness is
Mhm.
such an umbrella, but I feel like
Yes.
is this wellness aspect is just so needed and beautiful, and I just want to thank you so much for your heart and your work and for joining us tonight. What you're building through LYL Care is a beautiful reminder that wellness is not a luxury, it is a true necessity. And your commitment to helping people reconnect with themselves through yoga, aromatherapy, and intentional living is powerful, especially in a world that moves way too fast, especially for those of us who allow it to consume us. The space you're creating really invites us to slow down, breathe, and return to ourselves. So, before we close, I always like to give our guests the opportunity to share how our community can support them. And so, tell us what products, services, or offerings you'd like viewers to know about right now and how they can connect with you to book a class or experience what you're creating through LYL Body Care.
Yes, so everything is on my website at lylbodycare.com if you'd like to book a class or if you'd like to buy products. And if you want to connect through social media, I have Instagram at lylbody.care. And then I also use TikTok. That's like more of my like fun expressive app. So that's at LYL Body Care all the way through.
And you can get all of those social media handlers if you go to Black on the Platform to get Jasmine's listing. So I'm going to drop that below. Discover and support Jasmine through Black on the Platform's listing for LYL Body Care. And oops, I shrunk it down. Let me make it bigger again. Actually, I'm not going to play with stuff. I might mess it up. Let me try again. I know when I get off, I can drag it bigger. There we go. Move it around. Oh, yes. I'm still new at this technology thing, but I do what I do, so it's all good.
No,
Jasmine,
you're doing fantastic.
thank you. Thank you. And I'm so glad you could join us this evening. I'm going to do my outro and move you to the back. Thank you for being here tonight, and I'll be with you in just a minute if you stay on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Jen.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, you guys. I'm just like inspired to slow down and be more intentional on how I um show up in the world. Am I at peace with myself? And so I hope you found tonight as touching as I did. And now for my outro. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a powerful story. If you're ready to share your own story, visit blackontheplatform.com to join our growing community of Black owned brilliance. I'm Janice, your concierge of connection, reminding you that visibility creates opportunity and we're here to help you shine. Until next time, please say it with me, family. Stay bold, stay Black, and always stay building. Take care, family. Thank you for joining us this evening.